I'm very proud to be African American, but I'm also very proud that my wife is white. And I'm very proud that my 3 beautiful, unbelievable kids are a combination of both of us.
Let me say something to Hubert Davis. Let me say this to Hubert Davis. I don't know whose Black America you were raised in. To University of North Carolina men's basketball coach Hubert Davis, I don't know what Black community you came from, my brother. Those 2 statements, Hubert, those 2 statements cannot coexist in the same sentence. You cannot say, I'm proud to be Black, and then turn right around and say, I'm proud to have a white wife. That's a contradiction. And do you know why it's a contradiction, Hubert? The reason it's a contradiction is because if you were proud to be Black, you would not have a white wife. Do you hear me, Hubert? The snow bunny crisis is a disease, Coach Hubert Davis. Nobody's proud of having a mental illness. The snow bunny crisis is a mental illness. You cannot be proud to be Black and then say you're proud to have a white wife, my brother. Because if you were proud to be Black, you would not have a white wife.
All right, guys. So what you just saw there was a clip from one of my old videos that I did like last year. Okay, about Dr. Umar Johnson, who criticized UNC head basketball coach Herbert Davis for saying that he's proud to have a white wife. Okay, and obviously Umar Johnson in that clip there used some Black nationalist, Black supremacist talking points to basically say, hey, you know, we have a snow bunny crisis, and you cannot be proud to be Black while dating a white woman. Okay, and the reason why I played that clip is because it goes along with the subject of this video, right, which is LeBron James' son, Bronny James, who caused a whole lot of controversy among Black women in the blogosphere because he took a white girl to prom, right? So I want to talk about this because one of you guys actually asked me to comment on this, right, that give my opinion on interracial dating in general. And they actually sent me this clip of Dr. Umar Johnson actually going more in depth about why he's against interracial dating. Take a look.
Question, Dr. Umar. Are you totally against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it, and I want to make sure you understand why. We have a name for it,
okay.
The snow bunny crisis.
Okay.
I am against the snow bunny crisis, and I want your white listeners to understand, because people be trying to say stuff like, he's the Black Hitler. I'm not the Black Hitler. I am in no way interested in hurting or harming the life of any human, white, Asian, Chinese. I believe in respecting everybody. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke-ass Black man. Have you ever seen a rich white woman marry a broke-ass Black man? No, you have not, and you never will. Because marriage ain't about love, it's not colorblind, and it is totally economic. So if marriage is an economic unification and a contract, how can we, who don't have enough already, give so much to the white woman and to white people who have already taken too much when we got all these Black women out here who will never get married? Only 1 out of every 4 Black women in America will ever taste marriage, and half of them who taste marriage will be divorced within 5 years. If you want to save the Black family, you have to protect it. And in order to protect it, you have to be against interracial marriage. You can't say, I love the Black family, but I don't have a problem with interracial marriage. Interracial marriage is eliminating the Black family because it is not providing our women with enough available and able Black men to be their husbands.
So I got a whole lot of thoughts on what he just said, but I'm not gonna go too in depth on it because I don't want to make this video too long talking about this, because I can talk about this all day. First and foremost, the obvious point, right? If a white person used those kind of talking points, right, and those supremacist, nationalist talking points, because Dr. Umar Johnson is a Black nationalist, he's a Pan-Africanist, he is a black supremacist. I mean, that's what he is, right? I mean, just to be 100% honest with you, right? Because if a white person used those talking points, we would say that they are a white supremacist, right? They're white nationalists, and they're concerned, obviously, about trying to preserve the white race, right? This guy is concerned about trying to preserve the black race. But see, if a white person comes out here and expresses concern about trying to preserve the white race, then they might be called a Nazi, right? But this guy can come out here and say it, and, you know, hey, nobody's really calling him a racist. Even though, I mean, some people do. I mean, dude's obviously racist, but still, okay, it's not as demonized as we demonize it when it comes from white people, okay? Yeah, so again, if you're a white person and you know, are concerned about the white population, if you express concern about that, you're probably on the FBI's watch list. This guy is not on the FBI's watch list, right? That is my point. So with that being said, also, I don't follow the logic of the whole black supremacy thing when it comes to interracial dating and marriage. And the reason why is because we can't forget that the left is the party of Jim Crow, right? They're the party of Jim Crow, okay? And in the Jim Crow South, there was this rule that was used called the one-drop rule to identify who's considered to be colored and who's considered not to be colored, right? To be white, okay? To enforce segregation. And basically the rule goes like this. If you have one drop of Negro blood, then you're considered to be colored, right? You're considered to be not white, right? And the left has adopted this ideology today. And the reason why we know is because if you are of mixed race, let's say you're half black, half white, if you come out here and you say, hey, you know what? I don't necessarily identify as black because I don't think just calling myself black is an accurate representation or portrayal of who I am from a racial perspective. I'm half black, I'm half white, or I want to acknowledge the white side of me or whatever. If you say something like that, if you don't come out here and just say, no, I'm black and I'm oppressed and such and such and such, they're going to say that you hate yourself, right? You hate yourself. You're anti-black. You're a Tom. You're a sellout. You're all types of, you know, racial slurs that they use to describe black people that don't agree with black liberals, right? Yeah. Again, if you don't believe me, just ask Sage Steele, right? Who got a whole lot of backlash for acknowledging the white half of her, okay? So, yeah, I don't understand how is it that, you know, some of these black supremacists out here, right, are against interracial dating if you consider anybody that has a drop of Negro blood to be black, right? Wouldn't that mean that you would want more interracial dating and marriage because all their kids would technically be considered black, right? I mean, I'm just saying. So I'm going to give my opinion on the whole interracial dating and marriage thing in general. But first, I want to get into this whole Bronny thing. Because Dr. Umar Johnson also commented on this as well too. He did not approve of LeBron James' son going to prom with, you know, a woman that he would deem to be a snow bunny, right? He called out LeBron and said that, hey, I thought you were an activist, right? I thought you were an activist. So that being said, the woman in the comment section here on this picture also had a whole lot to say about this, right? As we're going to read some of the comments here. One person says, Zuri already know that white girl plan. She already see the future. Now, Zuri is this girl right here who is LeBron James' daughter, right? And they're looking at her face, saying that her face is a face of disapproval, right? NBA players and white girls, it's like burgers and fries. They seem to go together. Don't at me. Zuri giving very much get out vibes. Zuri looking like who this trick. Zuri trying to figure out who is this white woman. Zuri said it is snowing. She was thinking the same thing we all thinking, you know. Now, again, the theme here, guys, is that all these women that are hating on this picture of LeBron James' son taking this white girl to prom, right? Allegedly, she's white. They're all black women, right? Because black women get a sore spot when black men, especially rich black men, date white women because they feel left out. Okay, they feel like they deserve that. Okay, and here's my opinion on interracial dating / interracial relationships in general, right? Y'all ready? Here it goes. If you're not a white, black, or whatever race supremacist, why the hell do you care about who somebody wants to date from a racial perspective? Why does it matter, right? If you're not a racial supremacist, why does it matter? It should not matter, right? It should not matter at all, right? And even if you are, I still don't think that it really matters. At least to me, I'm not going to judge you for feeling that way, right? I look at it like this. I'm not going to judge anybody, right, who says, you know what, I want to date outside of my race. I'm not going to judge you and say, oh, you can't do that, right? I mean, everybody has a preference. Just like I'm not going to judge somebody that says, hey, I just want to date within my race, right? But I will say this. I feel like it's unfair for certain groups of people to get called racist for that, aka white people to be called racist for that. But everybody else, though, when they do that, it's just, oh, no, well, they're just dating within their race. They're just trying to preserve their race. And, you know, racial preservation is okay for everybody else except white folks. I'm just saying, that's my only problem with that, which is why I don't have a problem when people say that. I really don't, because at the end of the day, you have the right to date who you want to date. When we're talking about spending your life with somebody, when we're talking about making kids with somebody, I'm not going to be the one to say and tell you that you can't discriminate. You can be as racist or discriminatory as you want when it comes to who you want to date and who you want to be with, right? But I just don't believe in trying to judge other people, especially talking about a kid, right? A teenager going to prom. You're judging them and trying to make them out to be, you know, not doing their responsibility or whatever because they're dating somebody outside their race. Why does it matter, right? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, that's how I feel about it. Me personally, my preference is all races, right? I like all races, okay? And race is not really even a big factor for me at all when it comes to who I choose to date, right? I think it's interesting when you date people from different cultures and you get to try their different foods and, you know, learn about their way of life and stuff like that. That's fine. That's great. I think that's awesome. But that's not a big deal to me in the sense where, you know, it's going to be a factor that is going to, you know, eliminate somebody from the dating pool. Not for me. Now, for some other people, that may be the case, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't understand these people who get mad at other people in regards to who they choose to be with, who they choose to date. Unless you're a racial supremacist, right? If you're a racial supremacist, then I understand it. But if that's the case, then just come out and say, I'm a black supremacist, right? I'm a racial supremacist, which it sounds like a whole lot of these black women are. Because otherwise, you're free to date whoever you want to date. You're free to date whoever you want to date, regardless of their race. So why don't you do that, right? I mean, if black men are doing that and you're mad at black men for doing it, then why don't you go do it? But the fact of the matter is that a vast majority of the time, black men are marrying black women. So all these black women complaining, you're complaining about nothing, right? And if you're having a problem getting married, which is what Dr. Umar Johnson, alluded to, okay, which is a problem for black women, then I don't know, maybe you want to listen to somebody like Kevin Samuels, right? Who a lot of black women basically danced on his grave when the man died. But his whole purpose, or part of his purpose, was to make black men and black women better so that they could come together and date each other and marry and have kids, right? To preserve the so-called black family, right? Now, again, I'm all for the well-being of black people, okay? I care about black people, but I'm never going to go as far as to have this, you know, racial supremacist mindset where I'm going to judge people because they choose to date outside of their race or they choose to date somebody not black. That, to me, I think is silly, right? And I don't understand why people are so concerned about it. I don't understand why people care so much about who people choose to sleep with or who they love or who they choose to mate with. I really don't understand. I really don't get it. But again, if you are that concerned about it, then just own up to it and just say, hey, I'm a racist supremacist. That way we can establish that it exists, not just in white people, but also exists with other races as well, too. They do the exact same thing. Let's just call it what it is, right? If that's what we're going to do. But regardless, either way, I don't care. If you want to date within your race, fine. If you don't, fine, right? I really don't give a damn, and I don't understand people that do. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.